सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, normally there is a whole lot of chanting. We are not doing it online, but the people here, we have done it. Every class, that's this thing. So anyone who wants to chant it on their own at home, those who are attending online, is welcome to do that. Okay. So last time, participant So last time we saw the Vaiyasiki Nyayamala's introduction for the fourth sutra. So the sutra that Vaiyasiki Nyayamala gave you the Purvapaksha Siddhanta in brief, just as a topic. That only establishes the topic and the necessity for this Adhikarana, topic in the sense of Adhikarana. Now the sutra itself. Among the four sutras, you will find this is the longest. Okay? And the whole Adhikarana gave this name from the sutra itself. Tattva Samanvaya. Therefore, Samanvaya Adhikarana. Now, introducing it, Shankara introduces us a little elaborately. He says, Katam Punaha.
Sorry, last time you told those who are not attending your Vedanta Sara, you will Shadlinga Vichara.
Yes. Dhanand reminded me, for those who have not attended Vedanta Sara, I will do a Shadlinga Vichara. Okay. Now, what is Shadlinga Vichara? Shadlinga Vichara is a way of looking at a text, analyzing a text, to ascertain what is the tatparya of the text. Tatparya meaning what is the intention that is conveyed by the section or text. Okay? That's called tatparya, because a book made, or a text or a section, can talk about various things. But what is the main purpose? Any serious writing should have a main purpose. Now, what is the main purpose? Either it should be explicitly stated, or you infer it through various things. So the Shadlinga is a form of analysis. 6 lingas, 6 signs, okay, for understanding Tatparya. The first one is Upakrama Upasamhara. Upakrama, how you began, and Upasamhara, how you ended. Who's asking you to start AA companion? A participant asked you to start AA companion. If anyone is asking, please stop asking. If you have begun in one manner and you are ending in some other manner, there is no harmony between your beginning and ending. Like supposing I start teaching Vedanta saying, there are 2 things in this world. One is Atma, another is Anatma. And then I end by saying, therefore all that is there is only Atma. Then what happened to your statement in the beginning, there are 2 things in this world? Which shall I take? Shall I take there are 2 things in this world, or there is only one thing? No, only one thing. How do I know? Because you said you are contradicting yourself. So one of the... Okay, let us look at the Gita through Shadlinga Vichara. Usually what is done is, the very good example will be the Chandogya Upanishad, Sadeva Saumya. But I am not sure whether everyone has seen that text here. Let us look at the Gita. What is the first word of the first sentence of the teaching? First verse of the teaching? Ashochan Anvasochat. You're grieving over that which does not deserve grief. The teaching starts there. Previous verses are background Arjuna's problem. But the teaching starts over there. Saying that you're grieving over things that does not deserve grief. That means there's no real reason for grief. And what is the last verse of the teaching?
Sarva dharman parityajya.
Yeah, Mamekam Sharanam. And ending with Ma Shuchaha. Don't grieve. Therefore, the beginning and end is in harmony. Upakrama, Upasamhara. That's how you analyze it. Okay? Alright. This is one linga. Then, is it a stray statement or there is consistent presentation? Abhyasa. Is there abhyasa, repetition of this freedom from grief throughout the Gita?
Yes.
किधर है?
Yes,
No,
Swami.
yes.
हाँ?
Dukha viyogam.
Exactly, it's defining the yoga itself as dukkha samyoga viyogaha, freedom from grief. Where else? और है.
Shochati, na kamshati.
Huh?
All those endings are there, no? Na shochati, na kamshati.
Where?
Tashantim adhigacchati.
Yeah, shanti majigachati, na shokchati, na kankshati. So, in n number of places there is repetition, abhyasa. So that proves what? It is not a stray statement somewhere.
Every chapter he tells Arjuna, now you
Yeah,
should fight.
repeated.
That is the main.
You're not getting what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it is repetition.
Upakrama, Upasamhara, beginning and ending.
And that
What
is
you're
what?
talking about is the beginning. This is abhyasa now, repetition.
Repetition. Backed by
It
logic.
is not a stray statement. Like in some text it is mentioned, kingdom of heaven is within you. एक जगह बोला है.
अच्छा.
Where everywhere else nothing. That means what? It's a stray statement, we need not take it seriously. The other statements gain more importance. Even though what he's saying is the truth, but that is not the tatparya of that text. That text is a heaven going text. Okay? Where heaven is described as a place. Somewhere it is mentioned, but that won't become the official interpretation. So, abhyasaha. Then comes another important thing. In fact, I would say one of the most important thing,
Phala.
apurvata, uniqueness. Okay? Apurvata with respect to phalam, result. Apurvata with respect to subject matter. Apurvata with respect to adhikari. All that is involved. Okay? The subject that is gained by this text cannot be gained by dissimilar texts or any other text. Here this comes more with respect to a pramana. Okay. What is gained by Vedanta is not gained by any other text. But there are a lot of Vedanta texts, correct? All of them are clubbed together. And all those texts, if you look together, the same thing will apply. Look individually also, the same things will apply. Okay. Uniqueness. Even the adhikari is unique, no? Moksha kamaha. Jignasu. Okay. Phalam is also different. Phalam is also different. Phalam is also different. The result that Vedanta gives you is something unique. Even though it's prapta se prapti, etc., what is gained is unique. Therefore, there also there is uniqueness all the way. All the way there is uniqueness. Okay. Apurvata, abhyasam, apurvata. Then, upapatti. Upapatti meaning examples. What is an example? The demonstration of a logic is an example.
Logical.
Understand this clearly. A logic given is demonstrated by an example.
Ulta.
Huh? Yeah.
Not the opposite.
Not the other way around. We saw that when we were studying Tarka, etc. Any example is meant to illustrate a logic. Like where there is smoke, there is fire. Where there is smoke, there is fire. That's the linga and logic we are given. Example, look at my campfire. Barbecue, campfire, etc. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, and
Kitchen thing.
kitchen, wood kitchen, not modern
Ah.
kitchens.
Churna.
So, the logic is demonstrated by an example. So, Upapatti meaning there is logic in it. How many over now?
5.
4 are over.
One is phalam.
One is, it should have a result. Why are you writing all this? Is there any result available for it? I studied the whole thing. उसका बाद क्या हो गया? क्या हो गया? नहीं, टाइम पास हो गया. What is the result? What is, yeah. So result is connected with purpose, isn't it? Yeah, phalam. But if I know, if the phalam is mentioned, then I can decide should I go into it or not go into it. I don't want that phalam. And the last one may not be found in modern writings. It's called Arthavada. Praise or criticism. Praise or criticism. Because what you praise, that is where your heart is, no? Your tatparya is. What you criticize, opposite of that will be your tatparya. Even stories, all stories are not digressions. They are to illustrate a point. Therefore, they will come under Arthavada. So 6 over.
Yes.
Upakarma upasamhara, abhyasah, upapattihi, apurvatah, phalam and Arthavada. Normally Arthavada is put before phalam, but I put it last because it's not there in many modern texts. You won't find it. If you're like picking up a physics textbook, for example, you won't find Arthavada.
So, Swamiji, I want to ask a question. There is Arthavada in the form of prashansa, but criticism where? Is there
Aina.
any criticism?
Is there?
It will come in this. So Arodhi.
नहीं ये गीता में है.
Gita
Ah.
okay.
Let's look at the Gita. Apurvata, definitely freedom from grief is there. Abhyasa, apurvata we saw. Phalam of the Gita study mentioned elaborately toward the end. Okay. All right. Then Arthavada किधर आता है? Criticism.
One who doesn't
Yeah.
okay, he will go to the hell to hell. Naraka to Naraka.
Those who doesn't follow it. All that rumor. Those who cavil at my teaching. So criticism also there.
Or can we say when he calls the Arjuna that he is like a eunuch, can we take that as a criticism when he initially...
That is before the teaching.
Before the teaching.
Within the teaching you have to go.
That is to give him a jolt.
After the 11th verse of the second chapter
Hmm.
and the 66th verse of the 18th chapter.
18 chapter.
In between it should come.
Hmm.
Introduction also it can come, but mainly it has to be within this. Because that was a psychological thing that Krishna was playing on Arjuna, so that his inner feelings will come out. Confronting. So, all this analysis will prove what the text is meant for, the tatparyam of the text, the intention, the ascertained intention of a text. What other English word can we use for tatparyam?
Core.
Phalam. Huh?
Objective.
Objective, purpose. Okay.
Purport.
Hmm?
Purport.
Beg your pardon?
Objective, goal.
Aim.
This purport of the whole thing, yeah? Yeah, these are the words you can use because it doesn't have an exact equivalent English word.
Yeah, Tatparya is the
Hmm.
Essence.
Hmm?
essence.
Essence.
No.
Yeah.
Saram that
Sar of the
Intention.
Intention.
Purpose, that's a good thing, yeah. Goal, not completely, yeah. Goal will come more under phalam. Okay, yeah. So, this is the Shadlinga Vichara by which most texts were analyzed. Okay. So, even the writings were written like that. When you write, now all the Shadlinga may be not present everywhere. Okay. All of them may not be present. Like for example, in a continuous class, you can't have all of them present because it's continuous. But most of them will be present. Even in a modern class, even in a public talk, many of them will be present, if not all of them. Okay. Because that's how the teaching takes place. Okay. Clear about this or any questions?
Swamiji, generally, say for Upanishads like Brihadaranyaka or Chandogya, is it done per section or is it done for the whole Upanishad? Because a lot of Upasana is there.
So Upasana also will be connected to the main thing as Arthavada, as preparation. Upasanas, etc. will be connected. If you are taking the text as a whole, okay. If you are taking the text as section wise, then of course each section what the Tatparya.
And one more question, Swamiji. So,
Yeah.
in the case of Gita, the example that you took, so there is no need for grieving is what starts with and ends with. So is that an indication to say that Gita is a moksha shastra? Is that what we infer from
Yep.
that?
You see, it is classified as moksha shastra because the goal is moksha. And what is moksha? Atyantaka, dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. Atyantaka. See, the goal of the whole Veda is also dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. I am dukhi. Why? Because I didn't have a child. Okay, here is putra kameshti. That dukkha is gone. Other dukkhas will come.
Now child hai to problem hai.
Other dukkha will start. But that dukkha is gone. Therefore, limited dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti is there throughout the Veda. The whole Veda is meant for that. Moksha is what? Atyantika, dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. Absolute, in absolute terms. Therefore, dharmartha kama is relative terms. Moksha is in absolute terms, dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. Therefore, because of that, Gita will also be a moksha shastra. Now,
And
some
what is
people,
the
beg your pardon?
what is the difference between the Anubandha Chatushtayam that we talk about, like Adhikari, Vishayam, Prayojanam,
Yeah.
Sambandha and
Yeah.
Shadlinga Vichara? Are they connected or?
Yeah, Anubandha Chatushtayam you can talk about only after you are clear of the Tatparya of the text. If the Tatparya is not clear, what Anubandha Chatushtayam can you make out? What is the intention of the text? Okay. Intention. Somebody said interpretation. It's not interpretation. Okay. The intention of the text. See, what the text is, intention is not clear. How can Anubandha Chatushtayam be clear? Okay. So, now there are some people. Yeah?
So this Anubandha Chatushtayam is what?
Anubandham. What is the connection? What is the subject matter of the text? Who is the adhikari for it? All that. That is called Anubandham. We have done that before.
We had done Vedanta.
Yeah?
Vedanta.
You have a question?
Is that the reason why you introduced or talked about Shadlinga Vichara before the fourth verse and not at the beginning of the first sutra?
No, there's no reason for
No
it.
reason like
I have assumed that people know.
Okay.
Okay. Then I found that everyone may not have done Vedanta Sara, therefore some of us may not know. And in this section it's very necessary because a lot of it you're going to look at it like that. So I said, okay, better go over it because
And
people may not.
all the commentaries also which are written on the textbooks, they will also have to follow the Shadlinga Vichara.
Yep.
All the bhashya, all the commentaries,
Everything.
everything.
Technical writing will follow this.
And the small tests which we do, that Manisha
They also will
Panchana,
follow.
Panchakavana.
See, a stotra and all may not follow it. A stotram or something may not follow it. Okay, but serious writing will follow it.
Atma Bodha and everything.
All of them will follow it. You will take any text, you will find most of the Shadlinga will be there in it. Tapo bhikshina papanam shantanam vitaraya atma bodho vidiyate. Therefore, there itself the Tatparya is mentioned. Beginning, then how it ends, all that will fit in. You look at any text, any serious text in any subject matter, traditional Indian writing, Tarka, this, that, everything will follow. All of them will have it. Now, with respect to the Gita, there are some speakers, some teachers, traditional also, who will say, what is the first verse of the Gita?
Dharam Kshetra.
Dharma Kshetre Kurve. The first word is Dharma. What is the last verse of the Gita?
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra yoga iti me nischit mamaha. Correct? Therefore, Dharma is first word, Mama is last word. Therefore, Mama Dharma is what Gita talks about. But contextually, the meaning is different. Dharma is not the first word. Dharma Kshetre is the first word. Okay? Mama there is used in the sense of opinion. This is my conviction, he says. Now, this is said in public by some characters. I am using the term characters, but if people find out who the characters are, they may be a bit upset by my statement. Okay? Because Gita is not a Dharma Shastra. It's a Moksha Shastra. It doesn't talk in details about Dharma. It only talks about how you are going to do your Dharma. Does it mention all the elaborate duties a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, husband, wife, son, daughter, grandfather, all the duties they have to follow, does it mention? No. But how you do the duty, mokshartam, karmanyevadhikara, focus on the action, prasada buddhi, ishar, prasade sarva dukkhanam hani, etc. Therefore, it shows how, what attitude you do your duties. It doesn't go into details of dharma. What are the rules of a businessman should follow? Dharma for a businessman. It doesn't talk about it. The Dharma Shastras talk about it. What are the duties of a king? Raja Dharma. Gita doesn't talk about it, not bother about it. But does the Raja want moksha? Yes. Then this is the attitude you must have when he is following those duties. So the duties will be elaborated in the Dharma Shastra, not in the Gita. You know, it mentions Dharma here and there, in general terms, because what is applicable for all of humanity. That much it mentions. But details, this thing...
The values are mentioned.
Only values are mentioned, that much is mentioned. And that also, mokshartham, these values are necessary. You are a king, but adambitvam, amanitvam should be there. You are a great scholar, a pandita, a brahmana, amanitvam, adambitvam should be there. Okay? You are a shudra, amanitvam, adambitvam should be there. Even shudra, you know. Amanitvam, adambitvam, right? Because he is a union leader. He can close down the industry. What are you talking about? Yeah. It's the union leaders that drove all the industries away from USA. Yeah. Teamsters Union. Yeah. They were called Teamsters. Automobile industry all went out of USA because of that. So Amar is now can you see across the board what is applicable the Gita talks about. It doesn't talk about details. It need not talk about details. Why? Because it's not a Dharma Shastra, it's a Moksha Shastra. Therefore, just because Mama Dharma is mentioned in the context, so at the most you can say, in the context of Dharma you have Moksha. That's how maximum you can say. Dharma is not the main thing in the Gita. Okay? Moksha is the main thing in the Gita.
Can we say that whatever is mentioned is more in terms of preparation for
Nope.
In the Bhagavad
No.
Gita?
No.
That also we
No,
can.
no. Attitudes with which you do your Dharma. Yeah. That's why because we are talking about Dharma there. Okay. Then you can say whole of Dharma is preparation. But whole of Dharma is not only preparation. Dharma is meant for other things also. No? I don't want moksha. I decided that. This lifetime I don't want moksha. You still need Dharma or you don't need Dharma?
Of course, maybe more.
Maybe more, exactly. Therefore, Dharma cannot be meant as only preparation for moksha. Preparation for moksha is one aspect of Dharma. Yeah. Dharma is for your life. Dharma is for your life. Therefore, that's why the Dharma Shastras will deal with it very, very elaborately. Very elaborately will deal with it. So it will deal, Dharma Shastra, just to give you an insight, it will deal in terms of principle, it will also deal in some terms of rules and regulations. Principles are eternal. Rules and regulations have to be updated constantly. Principles are eternal. Honesty is eternal. Na? Now, application of honesty. Does the Dharma Shastra mention how honesty should be used in software? Doesn't mention. Yeah. Doesn't mention.
Swamiji, please repeat this. Principles are eternal, rules and regulations are...
Have to be updated. Have to be updated. Na? Regularly they'll have to be updated. Yeah. That's why, really speaking, Constitution is supposed to be principles. But Indian Constitution is full of rules and regulations. That's why you have to keep amending it. How many times you have amended? I don't remember. 90, 95?
No, almost 300 times.
Look at it. No, I'm talking of parliamentary amendments. 75, 80 times, 85, 100 times it has. More than the number of years of the Constitution we have amended it. Parliamentary amending has taken place. Yeah. Last few years, many amendments are not taken place because 2/3 majority is not there for anyone.
No, any amendment has to take place in the parliament.
Parliament only. But there are interpretive amendments are there by law. Supreme Court and etc. does that.
It is different.
Yeah,
You
discuss
cannot
that
change
with
the
her
constitution
afterwards.
without parliament.
So those things are also there. Yeah. So that's why I like the American Constitution. It's all principle wise. Amendments are all interpretations only. You say Fifth Amendment, this, that, etc. All interpretations. It's beautifully written. I mean, now in today's world, there is nothing much you'll respect about USA, but that's because of one champion, okay? That is not this thing.
One mad man.
But this part of it is very nice. So, amendment will take place in the Supreme Court in terms of interpretation, how it should be applied in this particular law. Nicely done. Yeah. Anyway, that apart. For the difference between Dharma and Moksha and Shadlinga Vichara for any text. In the Shadlinga Vichara, any questions, clarifications, or is that clear?
Swamiji, that Yoga Shastra we say, then that is about how to do your duties.
Which one?
For Gita.
Yoga.
Yoga Shastra is with respect to preparing the mind. Therefore, how you will do, that part of it, Dharma will come in. How will you do? Yeah. And other things also, which are not in Dharma. Some meditation, etc. is mentioned, no? 6th chapter, etc. That's all this thing for preparing the mind. Yeah. How you do your action. So,
Swamiji, what is Vishwatomukham? Is this a Shadlinga or in the...
no, Vishuddhamukha is the definition of Sutra.
In the definition.
Yeah, can answer more than one argument. Yeah, that's how the Sutra is geared. Yeah. Okay, all right. Then with this much, thanks for reminding me there. Now, Shankara writes an introduction to the 4th chapter, 4th Sutra, sorry, not chapter 4 Sutra. And it starts with the Purvaksha. Katham punaha brahmanaha shastra pramanakatvam uchyate yavata amnayasya kriyartatvad anarthakyam adatarthanam iti Jaimini Sutraha iti kriyaparatvam shastrasya pradarshitam. Says, how do you say that Shastra Yonitvat? You put Shastra Yonitvat in the previous Sutra. The Shastra is a Yoni for Brahma. The way of knowing Brahma. He say, and we also said Siddha Vishya. It's already there. Shastra is only revealing what is there. He says, if that is the truth, okay, if that is the truth, then your Shastra will become useless. Okay. Why? Do you accept that Upanishad is part of the Shastra or Veda or not part of the Veda? Let's clarify first things first.
Of course. The end of
The whole Pramanim of the Veda will depend upon, Pramanim of the Upanishad will be dependent on the fact it is part of the Veda. Veda is a Pramana. Upanishad is Pramana because part of the Veda. Therefore, you have to accept it as part of the Veda. Alright. Now, Jaimini, analyzing the Veda, has made one comment, one sutra there. That the whole Veda, Amnaya meaning Veda, okay, Kriyartatvad is meant for Kriya. And Adadarthana, any other meaning will have anarthakyam, uselessness, will not be purposeful. Why does he say that? Why does he make a sutra like that? For that little bit you have to understand. The first sutra of Dharma Shastra is Athato Dharma Jignasaha. Similar to Athato Brahma Jignasa. Same. Now, what the Atha meaning there is what? There is a vidhi in the thing that says Swavedo Adhyetavyaha. Your own Veda you have to study. Meaning, just learn to chant it. Study only that. First vidhi is only for chanting. Before the chanting, what you have to do to gain adhikara for Veda studies?
Gayatri Mantra Upasana.
What is that?
Gayatri Mantra Upasana.
Gayatri Mantra, exactly. Upakrama. What happened last Saturday, no? 1 week back. You know the cross belt that you wear, you see some people wearing, that most people used to hang their keys and things like that. What all people use that? It's just, okay. North India call it Janayu. Yeah. Okay. Now, we're supposed to be sacred. Okay. Why? That gives you the adhikara to study Veda. For any study, there has to be an adhikara. Therefore, you do that, chant the Gayatri. So nowadays it got reduced to, for practical purposes, you chant the Gayatri. If you are chanting the Gayatri, you have adhikara for Veda Dhyana. Somebody has to give it to you and you chant it. That's it. Take it. So the elaborate ritualism, you cut short. Yeah. At the Acharya's discretion, you cut short certain things. Okay. All right, fine. Veda Dhyana we done. Now we know the Veda. But we are only Shabdavit, not Shabdarthavit. We know the Shabda. We'll chant it forward, back. We'll do Ganapatam, up to Ganapatam we will do. One sentence will be repeated in 7 different variations. Ganapata. Sab karega. What is the meaning of it? Ganapata was meant actually as a sadhana, of course, also for preservation of the Veda. So that the Veda will be preserved. This is the structure. They were walking CD-ROMs. There were no technical CD-ROMs available. Therefore, they were walking CD-ROMs. All right. Now, you want to learn the adhikara to do the karma, etc. For that, you know. So, all right, dharma jignasaha. What is dharma now? Like Brahma jignyasa, Brahman was defined as janmadyasya yataha. Therefore, dharma jignasa, what is dharma? Because we are analyzing the Veda, so it's in context of the Veda. Chodana lakshanaha dharma. What impels you to do something is dharma. Got huge implications, okay? Huge implications. Chodana lakshanaha. That means what? Vidhi paratvam. The whole Veda is based on Vidhi Nisheda. Vidhi basically. Nisheda is also a Vidhi. A Vidhi of do or a Vidhi of don't. Okay. Vidhi Nisheda Paratvam. Why? Because Kriya Paratvam. When you say Chodan Lakshana Dharma, it's impelling you to action to gain something. That means what? Kriya Paratvam becomes the main thing of the Veda. Because Chodan Lakshana, Kriya Paratvam. If it is Kriya Paratvam, Vidhi becomes important. Therefore, he says, Amnayasya Kriyartatvat. In the second chapter, he says that Amnayasya Kriyartatvat, Anarthakya Madadarthana. All other verses will become meaningless. Now comes a question. What is this? Now comes a question. Okay? Can you have a meaningless sentence in the Veda? It's not a storybook. The Veda is not a storybook. Therefore, it's a pramana. Forget storybook. I'll come to the pramanam part. Let us take a book of law, for example. Can you have meaningless statements coming in a book of law? Textbook of law? No.
Even a full stop and comma is
Or physics. Can you have meaningless statements?
Even in a storybook, it will not be there. They are describing the nature.
So थोड़ा digress कर सकता है.
Kalidasa is describing, so it is not meaningless.
But in serious writing, you cannot have a meaningless sentence. Then how can you have a meaningless sentence in the pramana? Pramana is one step more, no, than a serious book. It's a means of knowledge. Therefore, in a pramana, there cannot be meaningless sentences. That means what? So-called meaningless sentences become meaningful because connected with the vidhi. Connected with the vidhi. Okay? That's how it becomes meaningful. Okay. Okay, iti kriya paratvam shastrasya pradarshita. Therefore, kriya paratvam is for the shastra. Alright. Therefore, Vedantanam anarthakyam. Vedanta will become anarthakyam. Why anarthakyam?
No kriya.
It is talking about a siddha vishya. If it is talking about a siddha vishya, there is nothing to be done about it. If it is a siddha vishya, nothing to be done about it. Hey, but in the first section also, Veda also we find, okay, there are siddha vishyas being talked about, mentioning about rice, barley, ghee, etc. They are all siddha vishyas, no? Correct, they are siddha vishyas. But why is they mentioned? Because they are connected to the vidhi, they have to be used in a yaga. They have to be used in a yaga. Therefore, it is mentioned. Therefore, your Vedanta Vakya also will be meaningful only if it is going to be used in a kriya. Because what is the Vedanta Vakya is talking about? You and Ishvara, isn't it? So he is talking about the Karta. And talking about the Swarupa of the Karta and the Swarupa of Ishvara. What is your definition in the second sutra? Janmadesya yataha. That's the Lakshana for Ishvara. So he's talking about Ishvara, talking about Jiva. You are like this, like this, like this, like this, whatever. Bolta hai. So it gains connected to the Vidhi. The Vidhi gets enhanced. The karma gets enhanced if you know the Karta and Ishvara well. Therefore, it is only meant for enhancement of karma. It is not meant for anything else. Arthavada Vakyam will become. The whole Upanishad will become Arthavada Vakyam. Or kidhar hai? What are you doing anyway? So good. That's why when we learn to chant the Veda, we chant the Upanishad also. You go to many of the temples, what does Taittiriya Upanishad use as? Abhisheka. Abhisheka. Or you go to a traditional temple. Some of the Upasana sections of the Taittiriya will be used when you are getting prasada. When you have done a puja and they are getting prasada for that puja, they will do that. Why? Dharmartha. Dharma Kamartha Siddhyartham. And they will give you this. And it is the sadhu who has done that puja in a temple. Because sadhus are allowed to give for a puja for a temple. No? Then he will say, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan. So either way, it is used for this only. Or kiske liye nahi hai. Either way, Arthavada, otherwise your Upanishad will not have any meaning. That is why, look at it. When you do a puja, a Shodasa Upachara puja, one of the steps is Atma Puja also there. No? करने क्या है ना आत्म पूजा. Why? अरे यार मेरे को I want to worship Krishna, जन्माष्टमी है. अभी आत्म पूजा में बीच में क्यों लेके आया? नहीं है. Shivo Bhutva Shivam Bhaje. It follows that principle. Invoke that in yourself and then you worship it outside. In Krishna's case, be careful what you are invoking. Okay, gadbad ho jayega. Because he has totality. Krishna is presented as totality, therefore you have to be careful. Invoke him as totality, no problems. Therefore, what's your problem? You study the Upanishad if you want to, but कुछ मिलने के तो कुछ करना पड़ता है. You should see some of our Bollywood actors and directors talking. सेवा करेगा तो मेवा मिलेगा, नहीं तो नहीं मिलेगा. First time I heard one idiot talking to them, I think, क्या नाटकबाजी कर रहा है. What type of nonsense? Too much of it. Oh, anyway, that apart. So this is it. Okay. So then the Vedantin question. I have not seen that anywhere. Nowhere in any ritual. Okay, whether it is simple Agniotram onwards or Samidhadanam with a brahmachari is supposed to do, to Ashwamedha. Okay, whole story. Nowhere have I seen them mentioning that before you do that, chant the Upanishad about Brahman, chant the Upanishad about Jiva, either nahi dekha hai main. So your whole argument, I don't see it in action. You say Kriya Bharatam, na? मेरे को दिखाओ किधर है? Where is it said before doing Agnihotra you should chant the Upanishad? किधर लिखा है? Or you should contemplate on yourself as Brahman. Okay? Or you should chant Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman Yo Vedanihitam Guhai. Or Yeto Imani Bhutani Jayanti. Is there anywhere, is it used in any ritual? Not used. Therefore, Athava, the second one. Okay? One second. This is troubling too much. There is a security call for me. Okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Alright. Therefore, the second part comes in. Okay. Arkaya. What is the first next word you can remember? My is not clear. The next line. Atha Vedantanam Anarthakyam.
Akriyartatvat.
Akriyartatvat. Okay, that Kri is not clear. Akriyartatvat. Therefore, because the Upanishad section doesn't have any Kriya, Akriyartatvat, it has to be taken as Arthavada. Krita Veda Kartra Devatadi Prakrashnarthena Va Kriya Vidhi Sheshatva. Therefore, it becomes a Kriya Vidhi Sesha. Sesha, the whole Upanishad becomes a Sesha, a leftover for the Vidhi. It's only describing the Vidhi. Which I answered by saying, I have not seen it anywhere. Then he says, Upasana Vidhi Kriyantara Vidhinartatvam Va. Okay, alright, simple. Then take it as Upasana Vidhi Kriyantratvam. Okay. Now this can go twofold. What Shankara means here, and the bhashya, what it means is Upasana Vidhi. Where is Upasana Vidhi coming into in Vedanta? Your main Vidhi in Vedanta is what? Atma Vare Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nididhyasitavya. Your own Upanishad talks about it. Therefore, you gain a sense of beatitude, etc. by Upasana. Upasana. Therefore, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, etc. It is not enough to know it. By mere knowing, nothing is gained. Then what? You have to meditate on it. Upasana karne ke. Upasana phalam is moksha. Now you know from where modern Vedanta is taken off, from a Purva Bhaksha. From a Purva Bhaksha, not from a Siddhanta. Okay? Therefore, you do Upasana. Or, that is modern Vedanta. Or, your Brahman, if it is going to be Siddha Vastu, without Upasana there is no moksha. Why a moksha will become Brahma Loka Prapti. And how do you go there? By this Upasana. You are not Brahman. but you still can do upasana on Brahman. How? What is an upasana based on? What is any worship based on? Niskrishta vastuni utkrishta vastu aropaha. Niskrishta vastu. Commonplace thing. A stone. Utkrishta vastu. Parmeshwaraha. Idam linge. Parmeshwaram avayami. I am invoking the Lord Parmeshwara in the stone. I know it's a stone. मैं गंगा किनारे से लेके आया था. And here I am invoking. Yeah. Trikala puja, everything I do. It's a stone. Does anyone not see the stone when you are doing the worship? You see the stone. But what do you take it as? Parmeshwara. Similarly. ये तो idiot है. Samsari है. Correct? Human being. Samsari. उत्कृष्ट वस्तु आरोपः. उत्कृष्ट वस्तु आरोपः. Parmeshwara is imposed on you. Ahangra upasana. So it's similar to Ahangra upasana. So you do that upasana.
Very superb. You know, when you teach, sometimes I always think, what can I put the Purva Paksha as? You know, Purva Paksha is where the growth is.
This is Purva Paksha. So you do upasana.
Superb it is.
And Brahma Loka Prapti will be phalam. I am not talking this, I am talking it from your standpoint only. Andam tama pravishyanti. Ye sambhuti upasate. Tato bhuya eva tamam pravishyanti. Yata sambhuti. Aina. Your own Isavasi Upanishad talks about all this. Therefore, jnana karma samachaya will give you moksha. Understand and contemplate. Brahmaloka Prapti will be moksha. Very clean. Therefore, now look at it. Whole the first section, second section that you are artificially divided, whole thing becomes one proper harmony. By Amnayasi Kriya Tattva. And that comes. The first section is meant for physical Kriya, second section for Manasa Kriya. Kriya to hai. Hey, but Kriya is finite result. कौन बोला finite result? यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद धाम परमम मम, है ना? My Dhamma. Therefore, a new school of as we started. My Dhamma is Golok Vrindavan. This is different from all other lokas. Okay, that's another nonsense that has started. Yeah. Krishna must be having a good laugh. Champion loke. I taught one thing, they are saying something else. अभी ये युगा में नहीं होगा, अगला युगा देखना पड़ेगा. Forget this lifetime. But therefore, look at it. Vidhi, Chodana, Lakshanam, all that fits in. Chodana, Lakshanam, correct. Impulsive reaction, correct. Manasam, fine. But tied up very neatly. Tied up. Otherwise, what will happen? Anarthakya will become useless. You want to become useless? No. Therefore, this is it. Okay. Upasana vidhi kriya. Vijanarthatvam va. Nahi parinishthita vastu swarupa pratipadanam sambhavati. It is not talking about something that's already there. Parinishthita vastu na sambhavati. Why? Pratikshadi vishayatvat parinishthita vastunaha. Why? Anything that is revealed by Shabda is also revealed by another pramana. Talks about, you like talking about Gomukh, worldly example. When you go there, you will see it. But heaven is not like that. When you go there, you will see it. Correct? You can't say, I'll go to heaven and not see heaven. Can you say that? Then why are you going to heaven? So there you are going to heaven to experience things. Experience what? All your pramanas are valid, functioning. How will you experience heaven? कैसा हो जाएगा? नहीं हो सकता. Okay. Okay. Then प्रत्यत्यादि विषयत्व. Okay. तत् प्रतिपादने चे हेयोपाद रहिता पुरुषार्था भावात्. See, if you are revealing something that is already there, and you are saying it is heyopadeya varjitam, meaning you can't take it, you can't give it up. Then where is the purushartha in that? How is the purushartha applicable? Purushartha is something that you have to achieve. What is being achieved here? Kuch nahi. Your own Upanishad describes Atma as heyopadeya varjitam, Brahman as heyopadeya varjitam, and an existing object. Not useful for karma, not useful for anything. Your Mandukya describes it as avyavahari, not available for any vyavahara. Kim prapta maya? What do we gain for it? हाँ Brahman है, ठीक है. Let God be in heaven and we on earth, there is no problem. उसको क्या बनता करें? No issue. See, it's all fine.
So Swamiji, when they talk about the vidhi, so then every vidhi will be finite, then the result will also be finite, no?
Yeah.
So then what is their definition of
But
moksha?
is Brahmaloka finite? You are there for the whole kalpa. How is Brahmaloka finite?
But kalpa, no? Again kalpa.
हाँ, whole kalpa is there ना there. अभी एक कल्पा को देखो, बाद में कल्पा है क्या देखेगा?
And Brahmaloka के लिए तो so much to be done, so people do that much.
So that's why you are saying ना उपासना है ना. हम ब्रह्मा भी उपासित. मनो ब्रह्मेति उपासित, you have a statement. तैत्तिरीय में आता है ना. मनो ब्रह्मेति उपासित. Then why can't you have aham brahmeti upasit? That's how you gain moksha. So either you can take, if it is modern Vedanta, you will take moksha as some experience of transcendence. Okay? If it is this, you will take it as Brahmaloka. If it is purely Vedic, you will take it as Brahmaloka Prapti. There is no coming back. Clean cut. ये only knowledge सब भूल जाओ. कुछ काम का नहीं है. कुछ काम का नहीं है. So the whole Veda. Then after that you can analyze what Brahman is, this thing, that thing. वो सब analysis कर लो, no problem. As long as it fits in with this, it's okay. You have your freedom to do what you want. It's like I am the viceroy. I give you the freedom to do what you want, but under my control. That's it. Correct? Complete presentation. This is what it is. Okay. Okay. 12:5. So there is more to this about how the connects up Arthavada statements, etc. Okay. For that, I have to also go into a little bit into what a vidhi is. Okay. The 4 types of vidhi available, the Shastra, etc. That we will see when we meet again after the camp. So not next Sunday, the Sunday after that. Okay. Which is the date?
30th.
30th.
31st.
31st. We will meet on 31st. Okay. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.
Ganpati.